the three most important qualities for a man to have in order not only to feel his best self, but for women to recognize that within a man, his best. And women are innately wired to desire a type of man with a sense of confidence over himself. And this is actually a very important thing when it comes to female attraction. There's a certain presence a man can emit that makes a woman's eyes glance towards him. And sometimes she may not even know why. It's the energy you hold. And before we get into these three qualities I will be sharing, I want to mention that today's video is sponsored by Marnie the Wing Girl herself. You guys may have heard her name. She is a very well-known, recognized YouTuber, has helped thousands of men overcome dating blocks as well as challenges when it comes to flirting and getting the woman they desire. In today's video, I'm happy to announce her formula course she has specifically formulated in a foolproof way to get you real life dating results. When it comes to flirting, this is a great place to start if you don't know how or if you feel awkward about it. It covers everything you need to know to get you, like I said, the real life results that you are desiring. And I'm all for action. It's one thing to think about something or desire something, but you need the action steps in place to get you to where you want to be. And right now, the Wing Girl method is offering my viewers a free preview of the F formula completely free. And if you like it and you decide to grab the full program, you will receive 20% off using my customized link down below. So click the first link in the description if you want to learn more. And now let's get into today's video, going over the three qualities women instantly feel drawn to. Starting off with number one is a man's stability within himself. The stability he has had to balance in order to keep himself calm in the ever challenges life throws his way. And men and women both face challenges. It's a part of life. There's two options: to learn how to swim or to learn how to sink. And a man who has learned how to swim through the currents of his emotions creates such a beautiful way for women to feel safe in your presence. I've mentioned this before, safety for a woman is everything with a man she feels drawn to. If there's not safety, the relationship is going to end up in cycles that are both toxic for her and you. And one thing I find extremely sexy within men today is a man who does not shy away from his emotions. And I know this may be going against everything you've been taught about masculinity and how you always have to have it together. And it's not necessarily about always needing to have it together, but it's about expressing your emotions and learning the hidden messages your emotions are communicating to you in order for you to even understand a woman's emotions in a way that creates that bond between you two. We can't run away from our emotions. The more we do, the more they chase us. And that's when you see a lot of men who fear feeling. But it's about you standing your ground in challenge and showing a woman, even in the midst of her going through an emotional state, or you going through something that's upsetting to you not losing yourself in another person's emotions as well as your own. You are the very anchor that keeps you grounded in your strength. And that is so, so powerful. It takes a lot for a person to understand what their emotions are saying without being identified to what they're telling them. And a lot of the times people impose suffering upon themselves by the thoughts they think, the actions they take, the drugs they use, the alcohol they're addicted to. And you having the strength to be a healthy man is a man with emotional stability. And this is something that women see very clearly within men. And she may be even testing your emotional stability. And pass that test by showing her that you have your best interest and her best interest in mind. The second quality I want to mention, and I have mentioned it before because I know how valuable it is for a man to understand his purpose. Now, purpose can look different from person to person, and we can even go through different phases of our life that has a different theme of what our purpose is. And right now, especially living in a modern day world, a lot of men are feeling that lack of drive, that lack of purpose, that lack of understanding of what they're here to create. We are here to create a life that means something, and that's not swept away day in, day out by ignoring the purpose you have within. And a lot of men discount their purpose. They play it small and they downplay their greatness. And men are very capable of going out into the world and forging your own path, one that has led to the deeper meaning that life has to offer you. By understanding your struggles right now, there's always hidden gems of knowledge that are there to reassure you of who you are. And regardless of your age, regardless of your ethnicity, your weight, etc., a man who can focus his energy, his awareness on creating something that is far greater than himself alone. This could look like you wanting to create a legacy for yourself, a legacy for your last name, a legacy for your children to be born into. And that's the very fuel, the very motivator that keeps you going every single day. Because it's one thing to have a goal, but it's a whole nother thing to actually take action toward the goals in the first place. There's dreamers and there's doers. And I think a man who is a doer has a game plan and follows through with action. And dreamers are usually the ones who feel inspired by other people doing the work and them feeling too safe, too comfortable on the sidelines of another person's success. And that success is obtainable to you. You just have to do it. You just have to see it. You just have to follow through with where you're wanting to go. And for a woman to see a man in purpose, who has ambition, who has drive, who even has had to start from the ground up and building something for himself. What a man that is. What an inspiration that man is. That's the type of man that women have no other option but to applaud, to support, and to nourish him in the ways that you as a man desire femininity. But you can't have femininity if you haven't accessed the full power and purpose behind your masculinity. Last but not least is a man who knows his value. A man with a strong sense of self-worth that he has had to create in order for him to recognize the power he possesses from within. Now, this is something that women are very drawn to, is a man who has self-acceptance. He has found his worth by being able to identify who he is. And that's a very powerful question I think men should ask. Who am I? That is a very valuable question that is showcasing to you that you're ready to understand yourself, that you're ready to recognize who you are, the man that you have to look back at when you look in the mirror. How do you treat him? How do you show up for him? How do you motivate him in moments of doubt? We all experience doubt. We all experience insecurities. But for a man who understands that his worth comes from him being on his own team. You guys, a lot of people do not like themselves. And it shows by their behaviors. It shows on what they do every single day. Their diet, their routines, showing yourself some love, some grace, some care. A man who actually can prioritize his very own peace of mind by doing things that give him peace in exchange for his efforts. Whether that's waking up early and getting a workout in. That probably creates a level of peace that you get to have throughout the day. You don't need a vape. You don't need a vape to soothe you. You've got you to soothe you. You've got you to soothe you. You don't need to go to the bars on the weekend and get female validation. You have a mission you're tending to. You have value that you doing that action is showcasing to other people that you don't love yourself. If you're drinking at bars and flirting with a ton of women, you lack respect and you don't allow just anyone to walk into your life without a value exchange. And a lot of people don't find connection through value exchange. They find connection out of validation or some sort of approval they cannot give themselves. So a man who has recognized that he is a value in this world, and he does not spend a moment longer beating himself down, telling himself he's not good enough. Instead, he has changed the narrative to one that makes him into the victor of his life instead of the victim. He is not a victim of his circumstances. He is not a victim of his thoughts. He rises to the occasion. And regardless if a woman sees that or not, no big deal. For the men today that feel like they lack that value within themselves, stop looking for it outside of yourself and start finding it from within by you showing up every day, staying committed to your word, showing yourself moments of care and recognition for the incredible being that's looking back at you, and starting there, prioritizing your health, prioritizing your mental health, your mental strength and stamina to keep going in a world that is always trying to knock you down, and not allowing this life to sway you in the direction that you do not belong. One of scarcity, one of lack, one of doubt, one of insecurity. Turn the other cheek into the direction that supports the narrative of the storyline you want to be living in. And women will naturally feel drawn to you. So I hope in today's video, I could encourage you, support you, and honestly tell you the straight up truth that men need to hear today. And if you guys are wanting any one-on-one coaching or further assistance with whatever area in your life you want to improve, I do offer one-on-one coaching, and I would love to work with you guys and hear from you. So my email will be linked down below. So without further ado, give this video a like, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.